All right, so we're going to try to teach Corrupt City. There's a lot of new concepts here, so you have to bear with me. It's probably going to be a longer video, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so let me talk about areas. Here are the businesses. Here are their trucks. Their trucks correspond to a color. There's also colors of cards. The cards that dictate things for the businesses to do. They're color specific, meaning they dictate what that company does or what you're doing in that company, and that'll make sense more in a minute. All right, so we have these city blocks and these city blocks. You have brown ones and you have these teal ones. These are not teal ones. These seafoam ones. These seafoam ones are not in play. You have these construction zones in front of there, and you have this construction block. These that are behind do not come into play until these construction blocks are satisfied with the goods that they want. This wants 2 of these red cylinders. This one wants 2 of the metal, and then this wants 2 of the brown. This one wants one of either one of those and wants either one of those. Okay. In the game, you have goods that are cubes, and you have goods that are octagonal or cylindrical. Okay. You'll pick up goods that are cubes. You'll take them to this area, which we're going to call the place. When you sell them there, they'll turn into, from a cube, they'll flip over and turn into this cylinder looking thing. Okay. So from city blocks, they go to the place, they get turned into cylinders. And from the places that you sell cylinders to are these construction zones and the construction block. They want cylinders. They have pictures on them, and they have a money amount that they'll buy the cylinders for. Here, they have cubes and the cube amount that they want to buy them for. Okay, trucks have an amount of loads they can pick up. This truck has one thing in the back. It can pick up one load. This truck has two things in the back. It can pick up 2 loads. When a truck picks up a load, you're just going to take they're going to take one of these tokens. It's either, if it's here and it loads, this is what it'll load, one of these. You pick the ones you want, and you load them depending on how many loads you have. If you have 3 loads, you're picking 2. Pick 2 of these. Okay. If the truck's over here, it's going to pick from these. So what you're going to try to do is pick up these or these and take them where they go. These go here. These cylinders go here. These cubes go here. So you'll pick up these, take them over there. They get processed, turned over, basically. And then they go from there to here, 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 or here. If you pick up this brick thing, you take it over here. It's worth $2. It gets turned over. This brick thing, if it's sold here, is worth $6. We'll look at the thing. I don't know what this $3 thing. I need to fix the art on it. That's not $3. That's $6. See that right there? I don't know what that 3 is. I got to fix the art. I'll fix it by the time you play it. So it's that white number. It's worth 6. Here it's worth 4. These metal things are worth 4, but the cylinders, if it's sold here, is worth 3. So you probably want to sell them here, depending if you want this block to come into play. It comes into play when these get sold, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So let's just say, I'll put this here. We know that this truck had that when it starts. So if this truck were to go to here, and if it would load this up, it could go here. I'm going to tell you how in a minute, but let's just say it does. Picks that up. It can sell to here. It makes $6 when we sell it to there. We're just going to cover this up because it no longer has a demand for that. This goes back in the bag. We'll flip it over and put it back in the bag. And the person, I'll talk about who gets paid and all that stuff for that. Person who does it gets paid $6 at the very least. And it wants one more for $6. Trucks can exist here where you have the truck times 3, here truck times 4, here truck infinite. Here it just has a picture of the truck, so blue trucks go there. 4, so trucks times 4. Cool. There's not a picture of a truck. This is basically where cops, these are cop cars. This is where cops come from. Um, Trucks start out, except for the first truck, like you'll have a seed and trucks will be put in blocks. But otherwise, you have these trucks that are ready to be put in service, but they're at the business. I mean, at their businesses. The blue truck company or the grape truck or the leaf truck company has their trucks. Um, Here are where meeples go. The first two spots are open in a two-player game. 3 and 4 are not open in a two-player game because only 3 for a three-player game, 4 for a four-player game. This one both are available, and here 2 are available instead of the 4. Let's see. We have a jail for meeples that get put in jail. I'll explain all this in a little bit better. Here's where the meeples, basically the general supply of the meeples, when they become ready to be used, they come to your area, which here there's a picture of a meeple, and here there's a picture of a meeple. Okay. So, cars, blocks, zones, construction zone, construction block, other blocks. When these blocks come into play, there's special rules that come into play with them, but they're not in play because they have this construction zone that until the construction zone is removed, it's there. This is the traffic jam. Vehicles go there and it's hard to take them out. I'll talk about that in a minute. General supply in the place. Trucks go there to sell these squares, and it's also where they go to pick up these cylinders. These blocks, you can see meeples can go there. There's a value attached to certain places, and the 3 places that values are associated with are here. This icon here, which is that's the business icon. Here you have a construction zone icon that's in the lower left. Here you have this little, in the lower left, you see like a little, like city looking skyline thing. That's the block icon. See, this one has a block icon as well. See, this one has a construction icon, business icon. Okay. We're basically going to be moving around these areas and dealing with that stuff. Okay, so over here, round 1, when we go to round 2, I'll put this there. Round 3 will go there. Round 4 we'll put there. There is no round 5. There's only 1 through 4. That's why this is grayed out. And there's each round has a card associated with it. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's get into what this game is and how it works. It's a programming game. This is your slot 1 or P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, and I'll explain that in a minute. This correlates with this. So let's look at what we're going to do. So the beginning of the round starts. We have all this set up from setup. We get dealt out cards. We get a number of cards depending on which round. In rounds 1 and 2, we get 3 cards in this offer. Everybody gets their own 3 sets. So here's the cards we're drawing from in round 1. They'll get 3. I got 3. If this player was in play, they would get 3 at the top. Each player gets 3. Okay, these cards are possible cards for that player to buy. So the tan player or the beige player can pick from these 3. Yellow player's picking from these. And let's say we're the yellow player. Okay, so I have these 3 cards to choose from. I have 10 cats or 10 tokens to buy cards with. The game is based on the winner of the game is at the end of 4 rounds, the player with the most money. This is not money. These are tokens used to buy cards. They don't transfer with money. They have nothing to do with money. This is just how you acquire cards in the game, which is your action selection part. Okay, so let's just talk about how this works. This is my hand. This is offer. I buy cards from my offer and I put them into my hand. So each card costs $3. That's what this says here. It says on that you have $10 budget. You buy you buy cards at $3 a card. So if I wanted to buy this card, I could spend three. 1, 2, 3. I could buy this card for 3. 1, 2, 3. Buy this card for 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. First part of the game is buying cards and setting them up, and then the second part of the game is actually playing the cards. We're programming, so we're programming first, and then we will play the game. So, imagine this is my hand, and these are the slots that can go in. P1 through P3. P4 is available in round 3, and P5 is available in round 5. What's going to happen is your P1s are going to go off. We're going to go, when we actually play the game, we'll go P1. Everybody do your P1s. There's an order to it, but I'll explain that in a minute. Then everyone does their P2s, and then everybody does their P3s. In round 1, that would be it. Then we'd go to round 2. Then you would buy cards, and then we'd start all over. We'd go P1, P2, P3, and so on. This is your program. So, first part, I buy my cards. I figure out the order they want to go in. So boom, let's say I want to put them in this order. The next part that I got to figure out is each card has a bonus. Do I want to use the bonus that is native to the card? Do I want to not do a bonus? Do I want to add my own bonus? These are my bonus tiles. I can place the bonus tiles over the card bonus. Now this card no longer does this bonus. It does this bonus instead, and so on. So let's say I like this bonus written on the card, but I don't like the other two, so I just cover them up and do my other thing. The way it works is each card has a number, P1, P2, you have 1 through 4. You have 4 different styles of actions. You have an invest, a move, a load, and an expand. Let me pull out an expand out of the deck. If I can find one. Where are they at? There we go. There's an expand. Okay. All your invests say 1. All your moves are 2. All your loads are 3. All your expands are 4. Every one of them is. They're different as far as how powerful the card is. Depends on the action, on the round they come out of. Like the cards out of deck 1 are not as powerful as the cards that'll be in deck 3 versus, deck 5 is going to be the most powerful cards. Okay. Next thing is the colors themselves have a slight skew, so they're going to be slightly different. So your invests green are going to be maybe a little different than your invest blue. Every color has a full set. So green's going to have 2 invests. It's going to have 2 moves, 2 loads, and 2 expands. And both of those, all of those, even though you might have the same number in purple, you have to invest to move. They might be slightly different in the bonuses that they do, but not in what their actions are. Okay. I don't want to get too much in the weeds. So let's say you're programming. This is what I decided the order. The way the round's going to go is when everybody's set up. So let's say this person decides to go like that. They decide to do that, and they decide to do that. And that cost them $9. I'll talk about this buying cards in a minute. Right now, I'm just going to explain the way these cards are set up. Okay, and let's say they want this bonus there, and they turn this one over, and they want that bonus there. Notice that the bonuses have 2 sides. You can choose one side or the other, and you can cover the cards. And now this card basically has this text instead of what it originally had. This is what they have. Okay, so everybody's done programming. They all say, hey, we're done programming. Then we go. It's round 1. Time to the playing part instead of the programming part. P1. All the P1s go off. So the question is, what number do you have in P1? So P1, I have the number 1 or invest. They happen to have also a 1 invest. So we both, the number tells you the order that the cards would go in, but we're tied. We both have invest. So we go here to tiebreaker. Yellow goes first and then tan. So invest goes first for yellow. They do their invest. And then the second player will do their invest. Everybody does all their P1s. Okay, and then P2. Let me change the order of these so they can be different. P2. I have the number 3 or load, and they have a number 4 expand. So 3 already goes sooner than 4, so the 3 goes off first. I execute my 3. Everything that happens before 4 gets to happen, and then 4 goes. Okay. After that, then we go to P3. Now we're only concerned with the P3 section. I have a number 2, which is move, and they have a number 4. I do my number 2 before 4 because 2 is sooner, and then number 4 goes off, and then we're done. Then we'd go into the next round, and so on. That's how the general gameplay is. Okay, so now let's talk about let's get into the weeds here. Okay, so each card has 2 parts. It has what the card does in the color that it is, and its bonus. Its bonus is gray, meaning it's colorless. So the targets don't have to be a specific color. But the main card is of a color, so it is targeting a color. Okay, so invest. I'll talk about invest first. What does invest do? Invest is you put money on a company, and if that company delivers goods, then you make money. If it makes a delivery, you make money. If you are green. So let me word that better. If you invest in green and the green company makes money, doesn't matter who makes the money for the green company, you will make money as well if the green company makes money. So this is the way it works. Invest. Investment would be, there's an infinite dollar and then there's a temporary dollar. So on this company, this represents the green company and how much money I have in it. This says put $1 on either side. So I put 1 on the infinite side, 1 on the non-infinite side. That's the top part of this card. That's what invest does. I'm not going to tell you what the bonus does, but just know that it has a regular action and a bonus. The regular action goes off first before the bonus. You can choose to not do what the regular action says. You may do it. You can choose not to. But what you can't do is do the bonus first and then do the main action. It must be done action first and then bonus. And if you skip one, well, then it's skipped. You don't get to go back. So this and then that, I chose to do that. Okay, we're not going to go over what the bonus does. Let's just say there's a bonus on here. That is what invest does. So on all your flavors of invest, let's go down to the 5 card, which is going to be, let me get an invest out of the 5 slot. It's just going to be more money. Invest. On this top section, I'll talk about this stuff in a minute, but on the top you see it's just $5. This is 1 and 1. So you just put a $5 bill on the non-infinite side, because if it was infinite, it'd have the infinite sign like this one does. Cool. It has a bonus on it. All the cards have a bonus on it. We'll talk about the bonuses in a minute because they're not that hard once you get to know the icons. Okay. 2, move. Move has an arrow. Okay. That is a blue move. I'm going to try to find a different color move. There's a purple move. This is move, pick a blue vehicle and move it, because the only thing that can move are vehicles. This is pick a blue vehicle and move it. So here is the one blue vehicle that's in play. It can move. It can move one spot. Movement is to move to a thing. So from here to here is a movement of 1. To move from here to here is a movement of 1. To move from here to here is 1, and then if you wanted to move here, that's another movement. The places it can move to are from the block to the place, from the place to a construction zone, from the place to a block. once the trucks are in play, they don't go back to their uh, businesses. They just basically rotate in this area here. They go from blocks to maybe special block or the construction zone or the place. Okay, so that movement arrow is just one movement. It's got multiple, for each arrow you have on there is multiple movements. I'll talk about the cops. These cops are not in play. A cop would come into play. It would either have a token, orange cube, meaning the cop is a neutral cop, or it'll have a meeple on it. Meeples say that the the cop belongs to that player. It doesn't matter if the cop belongs to a player or a neutral, meaning it's orange. It doesn't matter. If a cop is in play, meaning it's not here, it's in one of these areas. It can be a cop can be here, it can be there, it can be there, it can be down here, it can be in a business. If a cop is in play, meaning it'll have a token on top of it, it can be moved by any color card, but it takes 2 movement to get 1 movement out of the vehicle. So 2 movement and you can move this one. It's got to be in play first, meaning like if let's say this is in play, I want to move it. It's going to cost me 2 movement. So on one card, it has to have 2 movement. So this one has 1 movement on the action. So it can't move a cop. Cops are gray. That's why that can happen. Load. Here's the load symbol. Okay, the load symbol means, in this case, a blue truck can load once. This blue truck is in a place where there's some goods it can pick up. I've got 1 load, so I pick one of these. So I look over here, I say, wood's worth more than bricks, so I'll take one of these woods and I'll pick it up. It's got capacity of 1 more, but I'm only going to pick up, I only have 1 load on the card, so I'll pick up 1. We'll go to expand. Expand is how you bring in trucks, you put more goods in blocks, or you bring out cops. So the first part is to bring out a truck. So this is an expand. I can see how it's got that slash there means or. Do this or that or that. So we're going to bring out a purple truck. So I go to the purple business. Here's 3 trucks that are not in play. I'm going to bring one into play. So I might decide to bring this one into play, and I can spawn it in any place a truck can go. So a truck can go there, there, any one of these blocks, any one of those there. So I just spawn it in. Boom, that would be the first part. If I do the second one, which is, it says it has an arrow down from a cube. Basically, I'm going to pick one of these blocks that's in play. These blocks are not in play, so it's one of these brown ones at the beginning of the game. I pick this one because it actually has spots that are vacant for goods, and I go ahead and fill it up. I randomly pick out, it's got 2 open spots, so I'd randomly put out 2 goods, and we put them in the blocks. Boom. That's the second part of expand. Third part of expand is to put out a cop. I'd get a cop, put him in one of the areas a cop can exist. I would either make it a neutral, which is to get one of these orange cubes. That means it belongs to the game. Or if I had a cousin, one of these meeples, in my area, and I played, like if I am the beige player and I played expand, I could bring this in and put my cop. It's my cop, and I put him somewhere. Let me talk about how you get cousins. That's the 3 things you can do with expand. Let me talk about how you can get cousins so I can talk about how to make one of those cops yours. Let's go back to the move. Move. When a vehicle moves to a place, it'll interact with the place. If this truck moves here, or let's move it over here, it interacts with the place. This place wants one of these goods. This truck doesn't have the goods, so boom, done. If this truck moves over here, when a vehicle goes to the place and it has empty spaces in the back, a truck with nothing in the back, in its storage area, it can pick up cousins. So in a game, if whoever moved this over here. So let's make in P1, yellow player did a blue move. They got the blue truck. They moved it to the place. It's not loaded. It's got 2 empty spaces. Blue player gets 2 meeples and just puts them out there because the truck went over there empty. If the truck had only 1 space, let's say the truck went over here, it had 1 good, it would go over there. First thing it does is how many spaces does it have empty? It has only 1, so you'd get 1 cousin from the place. Then it would sell its good. Like I said, when a truck goes to a place, it interacts. It's got a good on it. It goes here. It sells. So the person who goes there will turn this over. See, they'll sell this. They'll get their cousin because it's got 1 empty space, and then they'll sell this for 3. So the player who did that, I had the move. I did that. I get 3. I would get $3. That's basically 3 victory points towards winning. And I got a cousin out of it. When the truck goes there and sells it, it gets turned over. So if the truck was here and it had a good, and the truck goes over here, it would interact. First, this is not a place you can pick up cousins. Second, it wants to sell stuff. You have something to sell. You sell this for $6. You cover it up. So I sold 1, put this in the thing. It only needs 1 more, and then this back thing will open up. Done. So that's what the move does. The move moves vehicles of that color to a place, and then you interact. If a place has too many vehicles, see there's a capacity. Here's 4. So let's just say this place has 3 trucks. You have one of these goods on the back of your truck. You want to go over there to sell that good to get the 60 juicy dollars. So you go over there. The truck will get to interact. It'll go there. First thing it does is, can it get cousins? No. Second thing, can it interact? Yes. You have a good, it sells the good. Boom. You make your $6. You cover up the thing. Boom. Done. Next thing, did you make it go over capacity? Yes, we did. Once you go over capacity, it had 3, it was at capacity, you went over capacity. Vehicles that go over capacity go to the traffic jam, which is this token here. You just put it over here and it'll reside there. For the rest of the game, any vehicles that go over capacity will go there, or you can move a truck to the traffic jam. It's a place a truck can go. So, in other words, if I was here and I didn't want to sell my good, I could just go straight to the traffic jam. Boom. It's just parked there. First thing, can it pick up a meeple? No. Can it sell a good? No. Is it over capacity? It's infinite capacity. It's good. It's there. All good. If you want to move a truck out of the traffic jam, it takes 2 movement to move it out. So this truck is stuck there to the end of the round. And I'll explain that in a minute. But if somebody else wanted to move this blue truck, they'd have to come up with 2 movement. If I had 2 movement and I played a card that had the 2 movement, it would be my turn. And I could move that truck out 1. Basically they can go anywhere. For 1, I'll go here. Or let's say I want to go back here. Sell the good. Well, first, can I pick up meeple? No. Can I sell the good? Yes. Is it over capacity? Yes. So once it sold the thing and I got my money, truck would go back to here because it's over capacity. Okay, cool. Confusing enough? I am sure. All right, next thing. Let's talk about the invest card. Let's say, let me find a blue invest to make this make sense. Blue invest. And then we'll put move here, and then we'll put a move here. Let's see if they have an invest that's blue. They have a green invest. Let's put a blue invest over there if we can find one. We'll talk about the invest card. I want to find the blue invest. Where is she at? I must have passed it. Where it's out here somewhere. There it is. Cool. Okay, so if we're in P1, both players have a number 1. Yellow is first in turn order, which we have in the turn order track over here. So one goes first. Let's say there's no money here. Blue decides to invest here and here. I mean, they don't decide. That's what their card says. So they invest. Okay, beige turn. They have the same. So they get their dollars, invest in blue. Boom, one infinite dollar, one temporary dollar. Boom, they don't do their bonus either. Then we go to P2. P2 is a number 2 here and a number 1 here. So beige beats it with the 1. The 1 goes. 1 is invest in green. So it's the same thing. They'll invest 1 in green here and then 1 temporary in green. Boom. Then the other card goes. So this player moves. Let's say this vehicle's here. This player moves the blue because it has 1 movement. They move it over here to sell. Oops, I'm doing all this wrong. To sell this good here. It's a square. They want to sell it here. They move there. First, they have an empty spot, so they pick up a meeple. Yellow picks up a meeple for moving a vehicle over there because they have an empty spot. I don't know what the hell that tail dude's. I mean, the beige dude's doing there. Then they sell it. Boom, they sell it for $2. Yellow did it, so they get their $2 for taking it and selling the good. Now, everybody invested in blue makes their money. 1 load was sold, so they get their investments once. Blue has 2 investments in blue, so they get, yellow has 2 investments in blue, so they get $2. Beige has 2 investments in blue. They get $2. So even though yellow made the sell, both beige and yellow get their investment dollars back for 1 sell. If there was 2 sells, you do that again. Yellow would get another 2. Beige would get another 2. It's very possible to make more off of investments than the actual good itself. So that's investment, that is move, and that is that part. So let's talk about load. Load is very easy. If yellow has a purple load, they'll load up a good if they can. Here's the purple truck. It can load 1. There is no other purple truck, so it cannot load. It can load when there's good. Goods look like these, like our cylinders. There's a type of good. There's a type of good. Wherever the truck's at, it can load from there. It's not, you would have had to have moved it around before if you were going to put it in place to pick something up. So it picks something up from where it's at. If there's several purple, let's say there's several purple trucks in play. Let's say there's 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Yellow chooses where to load. It says it can't load here because this truck's already full, so it'll load here instead if they want. Okay, so that's load. We've already talked about expand. Okay, so let's talk about bonuses. This is really easy. If the player let's not talk about the bonuses that are on the card. You can first you do the top part of the card, then you do the bonus of the card. If you don't like what the bonus are, you can cover it up with one of your tiles. Tiles are 2-sided, so let me talk about the easy stuff. We'll talk about this one. Boom. This is another $2. Notice that it doesn't have an infinite sign, and notice it doesn't have color. It's gray. So if this would go off in P1, let's say these are over here. This investment money comes from the bank. So yellow's going to invest 1 in blue on the infinite side, 1 in blue on the non-infinite side, and then they have a $2 invest. Where do they put this $2? They must be put together. So where do these $2 going to go? And it's on the non-infinite side. They might decide, purple looks good, I'll put it there. Or they might just put it in blue. It doesn't matter because it's a gray token. They can do wherever they want to in these 5 spots. Okay, that's $2. The other side of that token is take up to $2 on one side and move them over. So if it looked like this, they could take one of these dollars that's already on this side and move it over there. And they could take one of these dollars that's already on this side. If I can get just 1 instead of the 2 and slide it over there. And now those dollars went from temporary to infinite. At the end of the round, your temporary dollars are put back in the bank. So that stops them from being put back in the bank. So for the next round, the infinite dollars will be there to continuously add as investments. So that's what this card does. This one, instead of driving a vehicle over here to pick up a cousin because you have an empty spot in your truck, just pick up a cousin and put him in your supply. That's what that little cousin one says. This one, take one of your cousins in your supply, your personal supply, because the other one's the general supply, and put them into one of these spots, either in a business. See, there's empty. It can go in the 1 or 2 spots because we're playing 2-player. 3 and 4 are not available. So that's in one of the businesses, on a construction zone, or on a block. These places have the spots for them, but they're not in play yet. You still have to get them in place, so they're not there yet. So you can't do it. Okay. That's these 2 bonuses. So we've got rid of those bonuses. Boom. This is a move. So first, when this card goes off, they'll get their 1 and 1 if they want it. I hate these freaking things. It goes under there. You have to excuse it. All right, so they got their 1 and 1 from there, and then they're going to do their bonus, which is a move. So notice the move is gray, so they don't have to move a blue card. It's a blue card, but they don't have to move a blue truck because the bonus is any color. So on there, they can decide to move the green and get 2 more cousins. Boom, go over there, interact with it, get 2 cousins, put them in your area. Let's say this is the case, right? This is one action that's done completely before your bonus action. So if blue was stuck in the traffic jam and it takes 2 to get it out, you couldn't do it this way because the move has 1 move. You need 2 on that action. It doesn't have it on that action. It has it on the bonus action and then on the card. So it's divided. You must do all of the card first, and then you can do, all the main action first, and then you can do all the bonus action. So you're not adding those together. So this blue truck is not moving out of there with that action. So they basically, if they were to do that, the blue truck's in there. It can't move anything because the blue truck's kind of stuck there. So the top part fizzles. Then they can go to the bottom part because you don't have to do the top part to do the bottom part. You just have to do it in that order if you're going to do both. Bottom part says move truck. It's of any color, so you can just move a different color truck. That's how that kind of goes. All right, so I'll talk about the flip side of this in a moment. This one is a load. It works just like the other load, but it doesn't have a color. So like the first part would, like the truck, they would move a blue truck and then they would load any color truck. They just see one of these color trucks. If they like it, load it. Load up 1 good because there's 1 symbol. All right, the other side. The other side of this one. See how it's a move, but it's in a white square? Basically take this token and put it on another card. That adds that to the card's text on the main action. It cannot be put on the bonus side. It's only put on the main card side. So this adds that icon to the card. And the reason why it's white is to let you know that it assumes the color of the card. So now this is both purple. So it's a purple move and a purple load is what this card now says on the main part of the action. So when 3 goes off, it can move and load, and it can do that in any order. But they both have to be purple, and it can be the same truck or different trucks. On the opposite side of this one is the load token. So it is possible that a player, 1 goes off first. They must put this on a card that has not been played yet, so they put it on the last card if they want. Then they do this move. Then they do the bonus, which is to put this tile on another card that's played later in the round. And then on P3, this one has 2 freaking loads and 1 pickup. All in purple. Doesn't have to be the same truck. this bonus. This is just like expand. Basically, it's gray. So you pick a company and you bring in a truck. It doesn't matter which truck of that company, and you just spawn it into a place that a truck can exist. Next part, pick a block, just like the regular expand, and put in goods in that block, on the empty spots. What it doesn't have on there is putting in trucks. This bonus does not put in cops. It doesn't allow you to bring in cops that way. The opposite side, we're going to talk about extortion now. Extortion is another type of thing that can be done. Extortion is, on this it doesn't have the thing, but I'll show you in this card. This extortion is the same as this extortion. You see that this bottom one has those three symbols? Let me drink something real quick. Those are the three types of places. You've got businesses, you got construction zones, and you have blocks. Those three symbols would be on the bottom of here. It's just too small to have them. You got a money bag and you got a meeple. So, to extort, you get to pick all three places, one area in three places. You don't have to pick them all. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. On an extort, this is a meeple extort. You can pick one in each place. So we're going to go ahead and pick a business. We're going to go over here. We're going to look at businesses. This business actually has one of mine in there. So I'm going to extort there. You don't have to, but you can. Why not? It's extra points. This is worth 9 points if you're the one extorting. If it's your meeple that is extorting. What can happen is my opponent's there as well. I choose a place to extort and who's extorting. I'm choosing the green place. I pick the meeple that's going to extort. I pick their meeple to extort. So the first number is who's extorting. Second number is every other person who's represented. In a 3-player game, I choose Leaf Company to extort, and I choose them as the extortionist. When they extort, they'll make 9. I make 2. I do have 2 people there, but all we're looking for is representation, not how many. I'm represented. I make 2 as the secondary player. There. If there was another player there, they would make 2 as well. The extortionist makes 9, and the 2 others make that smaller amount. Then whoever was the extortionist goes to jail. Now, I'm the yellow player. I did not choose one of mine to extort. I chose yours to extort. You make the 9 points. I make the 2, but yours goes to jail. Boom. I'd probably choose myself. I'm going 9. So let's say I put in a $10 bill because I'm extorting for $9. Put this back into the game. Mine goes to jail. So that was the business I chose. Now I'm going to choose, and then they get 2. Then I'm going to choose a construction zone. In these construction zones, here's where I'm represented. I'm going to go ahead and extort it for 12. I would make another $12. Secondary person would make 9 in this case, and they stay. Then I would go here to the blocks. I'm represented here. So I decided I want to do a block, and this is going to be it. $10, they would go to jail. I can do 1 in each place. I can't do multiples in a place with the same extort. And that's it. I don't have to do all 3. I don't have to do any of them. This one, though, says -1. So it'd be -1 for both. If I extorted here, I would make 8, and everyone else represented would make 1. Here it would be me make 11, they make 8. So this is the extort. The extort card looks like that. It's basically the same thing. Notice this one has a -1. This one doesn't. This one doesn't have the 3 icons on the bottom, but you rest assured it is the 3 places. Something to know. If a cop car is at a place, it cannot be extorted by meeples. So if this is what it looked like, the cop car cannot extort. I mean, they cannot extort. This cop stops the extortion. Doesn't matter if it's a neutral cop or a person's car, or a person's cop. This place cannot be extorted. When you're extorting with meeples, you're looking at people that are represented. But the first thing you look to see if it's possible, and a cop car makes it impossible. Each place has a limit of 2 cop cars that can exist there at any given time. Let me talk about the next type of extort, which is a cop extort. This circle is a cop. It works the exact same way, except it'll be the cop that extorts. It must be a cop. You pick a cop in each area, or one of the areas, or both 2 areas, or none of the areas, whatever. So in this case, I could pick here. The cop gets 9. The cop goes to jail. This thing goes back to the precinct. The other 2 get 2 points each. If, let's just say there's a cop here. Yeah, so first part is, I can extort 1 in one business. And then if I have, let's say, a car here, I might want to extort in a construction zone as well as a block. Just however you want to do it. If there are 2 cops there, because remember I said there can be up to 2 cops in an area, cops cannot extort with other cops there. And that means that neither one of these cops can extort. They're basically cop blocked. If this cop extorted, because there's only 1, and it can be, a neutral cop or a regular player cop, but if this cop extorts, that player is also represented as a meeple. So the person who extorted, let's say they're the beige player extorts with their cop. They make 9, plus they make another 2 for having a dude there. Then I make 2. Then the cop goes to jail. All right. That is cop extort. Bonus. Now remember, let me talk about these 2 other types of things that can happen. And this bonus is meeples get paid. So meeples on the board, no matter where they are, if there's cops there, it doesn't matter. Meeples in meeple areas will get paid. So in this case, there's a yellow one here. There's a beige one there. There's a beige one there. And that's all the meeples that are in areas. The beige one gets $1. The beige player gets $1 per meeple out there. So the beige gets 2. Yellow only has 1 meeple out there. They'll get 1. So that's what this card says. Meeple payment $1. This one, cops get paid $1. There's only 1 beige cop. All the other cops are represented as there's 2 cops here. There's a neutral cop, and then there's that cop. The only cop that's getting paid $1 is this one, because that's the only cop that's there. They get paid that beige $1. Oh, this means, place a meeple into an area that can hold a meeple. Let me talk about this one. This is steal a good. This bonus is take a square good, which could be any one of these square goods, take it, and just put it back into the supply. The person who plays the card will take one of those, pick one, and get paid the cheapest amount that it's offered. For squares, here's the price. So they probably want to take the AC unit and they just take it off the board, and get $4. That's not a company selling it, so they don't have to look at their investments. That player just gets $4 for doing it. Let's look at some of the later bonuses. Okay, this one, see how it has 4 movement on it? It also has ×4 here, and it says put a meeple in one of those spaces or replace a meeple in one of those places. So if it's empty, you can just place new ones, and if there's other dudes there, you can replace it. You can do that up to 4 times on the whole board. Let's see if I can find another bonus. Okay, boom. This is meeple extortion. See, it's got this +5 and it's got a line under it. That is your meeples who extort make +$5 to whatever money they're making per meeple. You can pick one of each spot. So that's a pretty good card. So that'd be like 5, 10, 15 if you can pick 15 right off the bat. If you can pick 3 separate places with your meeples, but that line underneath means you. So if you pick somebody else, you extorted with somebody else, they're not making the 5. You're not making any extra money. This is for extorting with your own. Okay, this is all cops make $3, but your cops make an extra 3. This one is steal a cube and a cylinder. You just take them off the game. Like say if you were to take a cylinder, let's say these are the 3 cylinders. Let's say you took this cylinder, you find the cheapest price that it's available. It's available here for 6, but over here it's for 3, so you'd have to sell it for 3. If you delivered both of these, this would automatically go away. This is buying these cylinders for $8 each. When you go there, you just put the cylinder into the bag and you get your $8. Let's say this thing gets filled up. It goes away. When this comes into play, the person who filled it, the last person who basically put goods on it, see these hands that have the underlying thing, it gets automatically filled. Bam. 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 Now this card is in play. Each one of these does special things, and we'll talk about that last before we start playing the game. All right. Next thing. I think I went through all the bonuses. I'm just going to make sure real quick. Boom. Boom. If you see that line, it means or. I think we've gone through all the bonuses. If your deal says 3, you can pick. You pick one. You can pick a second one. It can be the same or different. Or a third one, same or different. So with this one, you can put out 3 cops. You can just do any of that shit. All right, so I think I went all over all the bonuses. So let me put all these in their relative deck and then talk about the cards themselves. And then we are pretty much done. That'll at least get people started playing the game. I think these are all ones. 1, 5, 5, 5. That's a 1. That's 1. I've got too many 5s in here. 5, 5. I think I do. Or is it supposed to be 24? I don't know. Oh, here's some 5s. 24, yeah. Okay. Let me finish setting up. And I'll only need to talk about load and some other stuff. Okay. So the thing I didn't talk about was load. When a company loads, like if I played this load card, when that goes off, anytime a truck picks up a good, so it picks it up, not you stealing it. If a truck picks up a good, that company earns $1 in its value. To represent that, let's just say purple loaded. We loaded one thing, and then we'll just slide $1 here, and that just shows that the grape company is worth plus $1. What that means is, see how it has this arrow plus here? If you were to extort here, instead of it being worth 9 and 2, it's worth 10 and 3. If they load again, plus $1 more to both values, and so on. So it's hard to remember, but every time you load, that vehicle gets $1. All right, cool. Getting close. So let's talk at the beginning of the boom. We're going to go through programming real quick. All right, so at the very beginning, you're dealt out 3 cards. Both players are dealt out 3 cards. You have 10 cats, 10 tokens to acquire cards. One of the things you can do is buy, so I like this invest, and I'll buy it. I got 10, 1, 2, 3. Okay. One of the things I can do is flush. And the flush, you spend $1 and you draw up to the amount of cards for the round. I've got 3 slots available, but I've got 2 cards in their places. So right now, if I were to flush and not get rid of any of these cards, I could only get 1. But before I flush, I can discard any number of the cards I don't like. So let's say I don't like load. Let's say I want to just fuck around in the blue company. Let's say this is empty because I'm in the first round. There's nothing here. And there's nothing here. Okay. I bought that with 3 tokens, and I decide to flush. Before I flush, I'm going to get rid of this card because I don't want that card. I spend $1 and I flush. I've got 2 slots open. I draw 2 cards from that deck. I could have kept that card and only drawn 1, or I could have got rid of this card and drawn 2. Okay, that cost me 1 to flush. I got these cards. Okay. I know I want this card. These are not so sure. I do like what this bonus says. I'm going to spend 3. 1, 2, 3, and buy this card. I have 1 more slot. I have $3. I have 2 cards to choose from. If I spent the $1 to flush again, I don't have enough money to buy a card. The other thing to take note is I can sell a card for $1. That's down here. I can sell one of these back to the game. I bought it for 3. I can sell it for 1, but it doesn't do me any good. I need 3 slots filled. I have $3. I don't have to have the slots filled, but I want them filled. So I'm going to spend $3, 1, 2, 3, and buy this card. It doesn't really fit with what I want to do. So I bought these 3 cards. This is my hand. I'm gonna program it. I want to go invest. In case the second player plays purple, I'll have money invested in purple. If they sell something in purple, I mean if they load and sell in purple, I'll make some extra money. I'll do invest in blue. And then I'll do a move in blue. Okay. I like this bonus, which is to steal a good. This bonus is to have meeples make money. The game doesn't start out with any meeples in there, so this bonus isn't any good. I want move and load because move is not good enough. I need to load a good and move it. So I want to move this here and put the move token. This puts a move token on here, which will change what this is worded to move and load. So I place that there so that when this goes off, it'll go move and load. I want a cousin, which are those meeples, to do stuff later. So what I'm going to do is do that. Okay. When this goes off, I'll invest and then I'll steal a good. This goes off, I'll invest, and then I'll get this load token, put it on here. When this goes off, I get to load and move there. So what I'm looking at is, I know I'm going to move and load in blue. Would it be better to do this here and have an investment, more investment in something? It could be more investment in blue since I know what blue is going to do. I can also look at what your cards are going to be and invest in what you're going to do. So that could be pretty versatile. But no, I'll go ahead and sell instead. I'll steal a good instead. Okay. So let's say this player is deciding what to do. This is what they have. They have $10 to play with. They want to get, let's say they decide, I want the blue invest because it's got a steal on it. 1, 2, 3. let's say they like the green invest. They go 1, 2, 3. And let's say this is what they're looking at. They want to go ahead and flush. They don't want this card. They want to see 3 brand new cards. 3. They get 3 cards for the 3 slots that are available. They only have $3 and they're going to buy a card. They decide to do a move. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And they decide, well, here is still a good move. It would be nice to move and load in blue, but I like that stealing good stuff. And move, it's a 2. I look at the game state and it's got a 2 truck in it. That's green. I can just move the truck to get meeples, and I could use this bonus just to put one of those meeples into a place. Because remember, if I move the truck in over here and it doesn't have any goods on it, I'll pick up meeples. So yeah, I'm just going to go with that. All right, so then we would play. All right, then the next round would go. Next round starts, and we're going to deal cards off of the second round. Now you get a fresh set of dealt cards in your offer. You can choose, if you have any cards in your offer already left over from the previous round, you can choose to get rid of or keep any of them. These are not cards you own. You have to buy them to own them to sell them, if you wanted to sell them. I can choose, I don't want this card. It's not part of my future. We're dealing off the second thing. I'll draw all 3 fresh cards from the next round. Okay, then it's their turn. They like their move. They don't like the expand. Well, they like the expand, so they're only going to take 1 card. Boom. Okay, so I've got 10 every round, $10 budget. Boom, 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 boom. If I buy a card, it's $3. Now, even though I can only program 3 cards for the first 2 rounds, and I keep these cards. Oh, and these bonuses at the end of the round go off of there. Even though I can only keep 2 cards, I mean 3. Even though I'm only programming a certain amount of cards, I can buy more than those cards. So I can spend 1, 2, 3. Let's say I bought this card. 1, 2, 3. Bought this card. Let's say I don't want that card, so I flush. Get rid of this card. We're in the second thing. I flushed. I drew 3 cards. Flip. Flip, flip. I go ahead and decide to buy 1, 2, 3. Buy this card. Okay, I own 6 cards. The cards that I'm not using, I'll just place aside, and then these are the cards that I'm going to play. Then I set my new program and set my new bonuses, and then we go. Let me talk about upgrading, selling, and everything else. Let's start the round. Let's say I had 10. Let's see, this is what I'm looking at. I buy a load card. 1, 2, 3. What's another? Did I have a move card in here? Okay, we'll do this. I buy the load card. And I buy the invest card. 1, 2, 3. Let's say I had the ability. Let's say this is what it looked like at the beginning of the. Let's say it looked like this. These are the cards that were in my offer. Put it back at 10. I buy 1, 2, 3. I buy this invest. Right? Okay. Let's talk about upgrading. This has an upgrade slot. This one does not. It has to have an upgrade slot to be upgraded. The way to upgrade a card is you need 2 cards of the same name and same number. These are 2 purple invests. I could upgrade this invest with this invest. I must own both of them, meaning I had spent $3 on them. For this invest, I upgrade this invest, which what it does, not a cube, puts a little paper clip right there. This invest upgrades that invest. I discard this invest. I'm keeping the one that's upgraded. I own both. I'm basically combining them. This invest now has a one more infinite dollar on it. And when I play this, this is on the text, all this. So let's say what also happens is when you upgrade a card, you also get a plus card here. For upgrading, you draw one card, put it in this bonus offer area, and it must be of the next. I mean, it can be of a lower deck or the same deck, but it can go one number higher. That's why there's a 5 slot here. We only have 4 rounds, 5 slot, because if you're in the 4th round and you upgrade, you can get the 5 card. So in this case, boom, we'll get this. Wait, is that a 3? No, that's not a 3. I upgraded this, discarded that card. Wait, that card, sorry, that got discarded goes over here in your discard area, and we get a 3 for upgrading in the 2nd round. Okay, notice it's a 3 card and it's a blue card. I can buy that card, 1, 2, 3, put it in my hand, use this card to upgrade it. So I combine these 2 cards. This goes here. This card goes here. And I upgraded. We're in round 2, so around 3 cards available. Boom, it goes here. If you ever upgrade and a card is meant to go here, but it's already filled, you can choose not to draw the card and just leave the one you have here, or you let this card go and then draw the new card. What you can't do is look at the new card and decide. You have to decide before you draw. And that's the way you upgrade. When you sell a card, it's $1 per card to sell back to the bank. So this card is worth 1 if I sold it to the bank. It doesn't matter what number's on it. If I sell this over here, I get $1 in this acquisition. It's not a dollar in this acquisition. Let's say I'm at 10. I sell this to get 1 card acquisition token. If it has an upgrade, it's $1 per upgrade. So this card is worth 1, 2. So if I sell this back to the thing, it's worth 2. Bam, bam. And so on. Some of these later cards, and let's not do from that deck. Let's say this one has 2 upgrade slots. It's worth 2. On these expands, they'll have a +1. This +1 is to this times number. So this thing lets you do 4 expands. If you sell this to the company, sell this back to the game, it's worth 3 acquisition tokens. What was another thing about expanding? Yellow cards, which we don't have in this game, don't have a bonus on them. They have a bonus area, but no actual bonus on them. So they're worth +1 card. +$1 just for being a yellow card. I think that's it. That might be all that I'm going to talk about, and then I think that's enough to actually play a game. If anything else comes to mind, we'll just have to do it in person. It's already getting late, and I think we're going to play round 1 through 4. If you have an upgraded card, let's say you have, I need to get one that looks like, I need to get another invest. No, we need to expand. Well, I can just say what I'm going to say. If this card is used to expand, like there was an invest. Okay, we'll do it with an actual card. So this invest was used to invest on this card. So it gets 1 invest for the card, boom, and plus one bonus, 1 upgrade for the card, and then 1 upgrade for each upgrade it has on it. So this one, throwing away this one with 1 upgrade takes this all the way. Now, if it surpluses, you don't get any extra bonuses, and the 1 bonus card that goes to offer, it's only 1. Even though you upgraded both of these slots in 1 turn, you still only get 1 bonus card to look at. Okay, so that should be about it. And if you sell this, is worth 3. Back to the game, you use those acquisition tokens to buy cards. At the end of programming, your acquisition number goes to 0, and the next round it starts back at 10. So if any acquisition money you don't use, it's just lost. So you might as well flush and try to find the cards you want. Each round you program a new thing. It can be from the cards that you have in your hand or the cards that you previously programmed. Just remember to take the bonuses off after the round. Most of this will get taught in person. But anyway, I'll make a better teaching video later. This is already very long. Oh crap. Each one of these does a special thing. Not important until we actually start playing, but hopefully the video gets you going. I'm going to make a whole nother video that's better later. Anyway, I'll go ahead and stop there. Let me see if I can figure out how to turn this damn thing off.